Howdy folks, welcome to another beautiful day out here in West Vancouver. As you can see, it's a little bit cooler already. We've got some clouds and rainy weather, but apparently it's going to start clearing up tomorrow and we'll have sunshine going into the weekend. Probably the last sunshine of summer. Anyway, in today's video, I want to talk about the Boerewors roll day that we had last Saturday and just give you a few numbers and, just a kind of a general breakdown of how the day went. But before we get there, I first want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you to everybody that joined us, everybody that came through from Langley, Burnaby, all over the place to come and join us and support us on this Boerewors roll day. It is so amazing to see all the South Africans pulling together and, just having a fun day in general. And not only the South Africans, all of the other folks that came along and also supported us. Thank you so much. But then there are a few people that I have to thank specifically because, it's interesting. I was chatting to Foster from Netflix the other day, and he mentioned something that made so much sense. He was like, well, you've got to build up a new family for yourself in Canada because your family and your support structure sits on the other side of the world, and they will always be your family. But they're very far away. And the only way to deal with that is to actually build up a new family in Canada. And the thing that I'm the most thankful for is that after 3 years and after this Boerewors roll day, I actually honestly feel that we have started building up a new family in Canada with so many of you. But there are a few people in particular that, man, amazing. Those are the people that just literally, I didn't ask them to come and help. I didn't ask them to come and work at the Boerewors roll day. They all just were available. They showed up, and without them, this day would not have been possible. And to best of all, they didn't even do it for a free boerie because they actually bought Boerewors rolls as well. So let's just run through everybody, and I just want to say thank you. I mean, it is it's so amazing to know that there are people out here that's got your back. And you know what? It's the same from my side. If you need us, we will be there. Anyway, so firstly, I want to say thanks to my mate Dave, all the way from Gabriola Island. He took, I think, 2 ferries to come through on Friday already so that we could use his truck to go and buy the wooden plywood sheets that we needed for the floor for our gazebo. We drove all the way to Langley to pick up other stock. I mean, Dave, thanks a lot, mate. And then, of course, on the day, Dave was the briar. He was the guy standing behind the braai, making sure all those Boereworses are getting bride. And I mean, it was getting crazy there at one stage. So, Dave, thanks a lot, mate. Without you, it would have been tough. Then next on the list, I want to say thank you to Madeleine, Gavin, Christian, and Mags. Guys, without you, Madeleine specifically came through on Thursday so we could view the site, help make decisions on where to put what, and just help me think about the whole thing in general. And then, of course, on Saturday, they arrived early, brought some extra tables and bins and things for the stand. They helped us to set up. And then throughout the day, Madeleine was running around there organizing stuff and helping with onions and helping with everything. And then, of course, Gavin, bro, man, thank you so much. Gavin was the one that was popping in every now and again going, is there anything I can help you with? Is there anything I can run to go and get? At one stage, Gavin even brought me a beer because he saw how thirsty I was. So Gavin, thanks. And your kids for being around and just helping out in general. Thank you very much. Next, Ansi, thank you for, being there. I know Ansi's got Nina, little one, and between all of that, she still made a plan and she still made time to come and help out for as much as she can. I mean, Ansi cut the onions. I could see her crying all the way from cutting the onions, but she did it. And she made sure that we had enough onions for the boerie roll day. Plus, Ansi supported the store and bought appetizers and everything. Ansi and Leon, thank you very much, guys. It's always nice to have, people around that are there for you. Then, of course, very important, Alden and Nicole. Oh man, you two were like, you know, cornerstones of the whole day. Alden was the guy that took on the duties of frying the onions, and trust me, I did not expect that we're going to need that many fried onions. Everybody loves their fried onions on the Boerewors. So Alden was standing there frying piles of onions the whole day. I mean, it was just absolutely chaos, and he helped carry away and everything. And Nicole, well, you know, I'm not sure exactly what time Nicole rocked up and jumped in, because Alden came a little bit earlier. But I can tell you one thing, I suddenly just saw a hive of activity inside the tent, and I just saw things getting suddenly better organized. Yeah, Nicole, thank you so much. You guys did so much. And with the breakdown, getting everything cleaned up, getting everything together, I don't know, man, without you guys, it would have been so much harder. So really, really thank you to you guys. Then I also want to say thanks to Bram, who brought a table and came all the way from the other side, close to the US border almost, to come and just support us. Thanks a lot. And then, of course, wow, my kids that jumped in, Connor and Angelique, that did their own food safe certificates to be able to also jump in and help, and now they've got that on their CV, so it's great. Angelique and a friend, Ocean, that was standing there cutting the buns and making Boerewors rolls and just jumping in generally and helping out. Thanks, guys. I really, really appreciate that. And when it came to breakdown, obviously, Dirk and Diane and Brad, everybody that helped break down and helped carry stuff. Once again, Nicole and Alden also there, and Dave. It's just amazing when you have people like that around. But I suppose the person I need to thank most is my beautiful wife, Belinda. You know, she's the one that always has to deal with my harebrained ideas and my last minute, like, disorganized systems. And she's always the one that just, like, falls in and picks up the slack and helps me out. I mean, Belinda was busy organizing stuff. She was driving around, buying more onions, getting more stuff. She was ticking off names. She was just all over the show. But the point is, Belinda didn't just work around the Boerewors all day for weeks running up to this. Sheesh, I've even been maxing out her credit cards to get all the to get all the equipment and everything that we needed for the Boerewors all day. So, baby, thank you very much. You complete me. Without you in my life, I don't know where I would go. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I promise I'll try and be better organized in future so that you don't have to run around as much to pick up all the slack. And I think that's about it, guys. Of course, there's a couple other people, you know, that came through. Dries and Brian. Wow, Brian. So here's a little fun story. At the Boerewors roll day, we were so busy. I was busy serving Boerewors rolls, and it was just chaos at one stage. So we never got around to actually taking any video at the day or any photos, which was absolutely absurd. And I was sitting here yesterday actually trying to make another video, and I'm like, oh man, Madeleine took a few photos and Alden sent me a photo or two. So we have a couple of photos, but nothing showing all the people. And then I go to my WhatsApp and I see the message from Brian where he was around when they came through. Him and Dries came through all the way from town on their bikes to come and support us, get Boerewors rolls, and then Brian went around and took a bunch of nice photos showing all the people. So Brian, thanks, dude, you saved my life there. At least now we have some proof that it happened. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so now let's get into the whole Boerewors roll day, what the idea was, how it all started, and you know what the results was and what we learned from it. Firstly, it was a little bit of a harebrained idea. Yeah, for those that know me, I'm a very impulsive guy. I just get an idea in my head and then, like, sometimes I run with it, sometimes I don't. It's just, it is who I am. So once again, why I say my wife is a very, very patient person. Anyway, so we were actually sitting watching the Festival of Light on the beach at English Bay and drinking a few gins. Madeleine and me and I think Ansi and them were there. Were Ansi there? No, Alden was there, you know, and Stefan, a whole bunch of people were there. And we were chatting about Boerewors rolls after a couple of glasses of gin and how awesome it is. And we said we should have a Boerewors roll day. So after I left there, I thought, that sounds like a good plan. So let's do a Boerewors roll day. And initially I thought it was just going to be something small for a few people. But then a lot of people were interested. And I thought, let's make it bigger. So I ran some ads, and that's how it got to most of a lot of the people that actually came through, made the video. And I just let it go. And, to be quite honest, like I said, I didn't really think it through. I thought, okay, we'll just have a Boerewors roll day. Everybody will come and buy their own Boerewors. And then some people, we were going to buy Boerewors for people. So we thought, okay, we need to, while we were in South Africa, I actually thought Madeleine was saying, well, you need to know how many people are going to come. So we need to plan. So I thought, okay, well, let's just set up a shop and sell the Boerewors rolls, sell tickets so we know how many Boerewors we need to order. And then that suddenly started growing crazy. And when we came back from South Africa, I looked at at everything, because over there we had a little bit of intermittent internet, and also electricity was a problem. And you're busy traveling with people, so we didn't get around to pay as much attention to it as we should have. And I looked at it, and there was suddenly a whole lot of tickets sold and a whole lot of people. And some helpful lady on Facebook actually pointed out, and sorry, I can't remember her name now, that we might need permits. And that's when I had to jump in place, get the permits. Now, getting these permits was not easy. I mean, it was actually quite costly. So just the permit for us to operate, well, it was easy. The people were very, very helpful. That's something I can say about them. The first permit we needed to get was to use John Lawson Park. I popped down to the ladies over there. They were absolutely amazing. They were very helpful. They showed me what I needed to do. I filled out the form, and they even just charged us a non-profit rate, which was $150 to use the park for the day. So if it was a profit rate, we would have paid $350, I think. But anyway, so for non-profit, $150, that's what it costs to actually rent the park or to be able to have the event in the park to get the permit. The more difficult permit was the Vancouver Coastal Health one to serve food. That one we had to jump through a few hoops. But once again, it's amazing how friendly these people actually are. The guys that issue the permits, Charlene and Ralph, they're not there to try and shut you down. They're there to try and help you to get it right. And it's one of those arguments that you can have. It's like, there's a lot of rules and a lot of regulations, and some of it doesn't make sense, and you're like, why? But at the end of the day, we also know what it's like to live in a place where there are no rules and regulations and where nothing is enforced. There's a big negative side to that too. So people are very helpful. You just need to follow the rules. But it did cost a bit of money. It was only $50 to get the Vancouver Health permit. That was the only cost to the permit. But in order to get the permit, we had to get BC Food Safe certification, which is basically an 8-hour course. We could do it online, luckily, because you can also go and do it in person, but there's online one. So I did it, Angelique did it, and Connor did it. So we had 3 people that were BC Food Safe certified at the stand, and each of those was like $100 to do the course, and it's 8 hours online. So all 3 of us did that. So that was $300 that it cost us just to get that done. We had to put out a floor underneath the gazebo. That came out to, I think we needed to buy 15 planks, and it was about $30 a plank, so $450 for that. And then there was a bunch of stuff, like you have to have, I think we had like 8 different tongs, because you have one tong to take the raw meat out of the packet and put it on the braai. So only one tongs must only touch the raw meat. And then you have another tongs that you braai with, and then you have another tongs that only touches the cooked sausage. So you can only put cooked sausage onto the bread with a different tong. It's not the same tong that you used for the other stuff. Plus, then you have to have, I think it was additional spare tongs. So for in case you drop one, or you know something contaminates one, you need to have just a clean spare tong. So we had to buy a whole bunch of tongs. We had to buy a whole bunch of cutting boards. We had to buy a thing to make a portable hand wash station. We had to buy, I mean, yeah, it was just a bunch of stuff that we had to get to stick to the food service rules, you know, the cleaners and the extra spatulas for the onions, and it was a whole bunch of stuff. So it actually cost us quite a bit to put the event together. But at the end of the day, we do have that stuff now. So the benefit is, since we have it and we've already bought it, we might as well start doing more events, which is what we will be doing. I'll be making some announcements around that shortly. But yeah, that's it. That's the Boerewors roll day. Oh, and some of the numbers. We ended up selling 120 Boerewors rolls at $10. So that's about $1,200 that we got in from that. The rolls, I would guess, if you calculate the sausage, the onion, and everything else, it would cost us. It cost us about $6 just to get everything here, and to just, you know, without the gas and all of that. Oh, we had to buy gas bottles, and we had to buy a thing to fry the onions, because it's one of the rules for getting your approval there is that you cannot prepare any of the food anywhere else. So we didn't go there with pre-cut and pre-buttered buns or pre-fried onions, because it's just not allowed. You have to, that premises is what you are getting the permit for, and that premises is where you have to prepare and do all the food. You cannot arrive with pre-prepared food there. So in the short, all in all, I mean, the Boerewors roll day didn't make any money. We dropped short on it purely because of all the extra costs. But the whole idea wasn't really to make money. It was just to kind of have a little bit of fun. And then, of course, from the time we started the Boerewors roll day, you all know, in between we got along onto this point where we are now starting the TheSouthAfricanShop.ca to produce. It's amazing how things just kind of happen, to sell South African foods online. So we're still working on that. And then the Boerewors roll day was a nice promotional idea, or a nice promotion for that as well. Any which way, so there you have it. That was the Boerewors roll day. I think we had about 150 people that showed up. There were a few people that walked through the park and bought. There were a few people that brought their own barbecues and grilled their own Boerewors. And altogether, I think it was just a really good, fun day. The things that we didn't get to, oh man, yeah. I remember I made a video and I said there were going to be prizes at the Boerewors roll day that we're going to hand out. Now, I can promise you there was absolutely no time to even think of prizes. So we will do the prizes separately. I'm going to send everybody that bought tickets for the Boerewors roll day, I'm going to send them numbers for their tickets, and then we'll just do a live draw to hand out those prizes and get it to everybody that was there. For the rest, guys, if you have any questions, please reach out on Facebook or on YouTube. You've got my details. And once again, thank you. It's absolutely amazing to have such an amazing community around us here in Canada already. And we are there for everybody else as well. All right, folks, have a good one. Cheers.